says to you, you look beautiful today, but you don't receive that well.
But is that an insult when someone says you look beautiful today? That's bad.
Well, but I don't know any woman in her right mind who gets upset because someone, even a stranger, said that you look beautiful. So, in this little idea, some women are weak, and they've gotten weaker. For all the feminism that has come out, Rosie the Riveter, women in general, by and large, have gotten weak in these so-called movements that aim to empower them.
One thing that they were talking about this week is the MeToo movement. And they were pretty much asking whether or not it was positive or negative.
There's a spectrum of behavior. You have Harvey Weinstein, certainly all over to the left.
That's fine.
And then you have, let's say, someone who makes you feel creepy or looks at you a certain way or says to you, you look beautiful today, but you don't receive that well. Is it time now to maybe, people have consequences. I don't believe in cancel culture. I believe in the consequences. But what happened to forgiveness in this society?
But is that an insult when someone says you look beautiful today? That's bad.
To some women, that is part of the Me Too.
Neurotic
I think there were a lot of positives that came out of Me Too. One is teaching us about consent and the importance of it. I think talking about power dynamics and how that factors into sexual relationships. And I think putting a spotlight in the fact that 1 in 3 women will likely be sexually assaulted in their lifetime. But I think there should be forgiveness. If there's accountability, you're doing work to fix yourself and you're willing to face the consequences. And I see someone like a Harvey Weinstein where I don't believe that he does not deserve rehabilitation. He deserves accountability for the victims that he had. But I do have to say the great failing of Me Too, in my opinion, was after October 7th, a mass case of sexual assault, and how many people remained silent for so long or tried to equivocate around it. If we are going to call out sexual violence and we're going to say that we believe women, we need to believe Israeli women.
All right.
I think the Me Too movement as a whole was totally off the rails. Okay. And I say that because do I want women, or anyone for that matter, but certainly women and children, I don't want them raped, don't want them sexually assaulted. That's wrong. Those people should be prosecuted, reported, whatever. That's all give and take. I mean, that's all given, given. Those laws were already on the book. What the Me Too movement to me has added to was making women look weaker and foolish. I don't know any woman in her right mind who gets upset because someone, even a stranger, said that you look beautiful or you look nice or I love that color on you or your hair, whatever it may be. I don't know any woman, however old she is, I don't know how much gray she may have, that does not want to hear that she looks beautiful. That's called normal. So in this little idea, some women are weak and they've gotten weaker. For all the feminism that has come out, Rosie the Riveter, women in general, by and large, have gotten weak in these so-called movements that aim to empower them. No, it doesn't. You know what empowers women? When you have healthy, normal women, healthy, normal men saying, oh, you look beautiful. Or women say, oh, I like that on you. You look nice. That cologne smells good. Or that's a handsome guy. You know how girls talk amongst each other. But you can't even do that now without needing a safe space and a bubble.
I agree, Shelly. I think it was a total flop. And to me, in my opinion, there were 2 reasons why it was a total flop. Number one, most of it was politically motivated. And it was politically motivated. The leftists, the left pushed this Me Too, but they only pushed it on certain people. And if it was someone on the left or one of their big Democrat elitist people, then they, turned a blind eye. But then if it was someone, that they didn't care about, or, then it was, oh, Me Too, and they tried to ruin and cancel these people. And most of the stuff that came out about these people who came forward, it came out, there was no evidence. There was no evidence about most of this stuff.
Right.
So, exactly. I mean, this is what they were specifically talking about was Kevin Spacey. And as creepy as you may think he is, he was found out everything that they came out against him was wrong. He was found innocent on all accounts. every account. And then as they started to really look into some of these stories, there were so many holes in many of these stories of these accusers of Kevin Spacey that it should have never even gone to court.
Right. Exactly. And I'll tell you another reason, I'm going to add to your two, that the Me Too movement, because what it showed was that not only did it show that some of these predators, if you will, were guilty, they should have been under, like you say, under the jail, right? It showed that in some cases, I want to say not even the majority, okay? Because like you said, a lot of them were holding
it wasn't the majority.
It wasn't. But for women, what it also showed was that women will allow other women to be hurt by predators that they know should have been reported. So they got money or they got fame and fortune from however long ago that they were being maybe raped or assaulted, but they let it go on. They knew other women were coming behind them. They didn't tell them. They didn't warn them. No, they let other women get assaulted and raped and molested and traumatized when these other women who are supposed to be the sisterhood, right, let these other women get, come away with all these mental and physical scars.
Yeah. And not only that, when you're talking about women, the whole Me Too movement was critical, uber critical of men, and was not critical of women. And when I say that, I am, of course, not talking about, real victims. I'm talking about the accountability that we need to have, the conversations about over-sexualization of children. We need to talk about, how they're pushing horror walks and promiscuity amongst women, sex, free open sex with any and everybody with no responsibility about it. This is what we are pushing on our young girls, on young women. And so on one hand, you push this uber sexual culture, and then on the other hand, you're supposed to hold men accountable. I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. They downplay marriage. They ridicule it, don't want anybody to get married anymore, but then they don't, you want women, it's just Me Too. It made no sense to me. It made no sense.
Yeah, to me, the movement was largely about, I want sympathy. I want to. It was kind of a backdoor way to just go at men in general, but maybe some specific men who deserved it. But it was not the majority.
No, and not only that, but it was more so to me like a Salem witch trial for men. I mean, look what happened. Remember, what was that nutcase's name? Blasey, the one who came out
Ford.
Christine Blasey Ford, who came out against Judge Kavanaugh. To this day, she has not presented 1 ounce of evidence about any of the accusations that she made to that man.
No, she has not. She has not about. Now, I will say this about her. Again, not against Judge Kavanaugh, which she didn't have any evidence. I do believe that she was assaulted at some point in her life. I do believe that. Not by Judge Kavanaugh, I'm not saying that. I do believe she was assaulted or raped or whatever. She may be a nut, but I do believe that. I don't think Judge Kavanaugh was the person. I think she has conflated a whole lot of things or whatever, people, but I do believe that she was assaulted. Again, I don't have any evidence. It's just what I believe, but she certainly did not have any evidence against Judge Kavanaugh. And one of the things about that case, that
what type of person are you to come out against this man? And even if you weren't, you're not even sure. And everyone who you said that would vouch for you didn't. The friend of Kavanaugh's, who she alleged was in the room, vehemently denied that this took place. I mean, it was all over the place, but she was being put up on this pedestal by these evil leftists and the Democrats, all to try to make sure this man was not put forth on the Supreme Court.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Absolutely.